What's up, guys? My name is nitsimran and welcome back to my podcast, Not Your Average Desi Brown Girl. Hey, guys, I do realize it's been a very long time since I did a podcast. So I do apologize, but I am back in my game, and today's episode is gonna be kind of interesting. We're gonna do a little catch up, and today's episode is gonna be a little interesting in my opinion. But I want to say is um what I'm gonna be talking about in today's episode is like entering, ending my teen years and entering my adult years. But yeah, so let's move on. Let's go on with the rest of the podcast. So today I'm gonna be talking about how we're gonna do some catch up. So I recently been, doing the best mentally, so I kinda just took a little break and I'm back on my A game. So that's one of those things. So welcome back to, all the listeners, if you're new or old. I don't know, I don't think there's much of a podcast to say that new or old, but I think it's something really interesting to just say like that. Anyways, welcome back to the podcast, guys. So I haven't been up to I haven't been mentally good enough, not good enough. What's the word? Mentally, I haven't been like on my A game with these podcasts lately because I guess I've been trying to get back up into shape after last year because let's say that 2022 kicked my ass and 2023 already kind of sucks, but I guess you just have to go with the flow if that makes sense. There's no flow, but y'all know what I mean, like, go with the flow. But anyways, yeah, I also want to add a TW for everyone else who's watching. There's gonna be a lot of boyfriend talk, so let's just keep that at a minimum for today's episode. So I do apologize if I go over the limit. Recently, I've been doing my own shit. I've been getting my own things lately. I am probably a bit behind than most other people, and I don't know how to say, I don't blame myself, but uh, everyone else seems to have their life together. It's not that no one has their life together. It's like one of those things where I like struggle with. Because I feel like I'm so much a perfectionist where I'm like, you know what, I need to have my fucking life together. If I don't have my life together, it feels like I'm a disappointment. Obviously, I don't think I am a disappointment, but just for the feeling of being a disappointment, I feel like as a person, I need to have my shit together, and I don't have my shit together, which kind of just explains all of it. So, obviously, special shout out to my love. If you're watching this, you know who you are. Thank you for trying to be supportive in your own ways and telling me that it's okay not to have your shit together. Thank you for that. I totally appreciate it and I am very grateful for that. And now onto the topic of today's podcast. Let's talk about your late teens, ending your late teens and entering your 20s. So if a lot of people don't know, I started this podcast out last fall when I was 19, which obviously 19 is not a big deal, but 19 is like the year everything starts to get serious, which I absolutely hate the most because it's not like I don't want to be, 19. It's not like I don't want to be 19. It's not like I don't want to grow up. It's that I would love to grow up, but then sometimes, I'm hoping I'm not the only person, but, you guys let me know in the comments. Like, am I the only person when it comes to growing up, you feel like so, now you feel like so left behind, but you're not really left behind. Everyone just has their own pace. I don't know if it's me. Like when I was 19, I was a college student. I'm still 19, obviously, but I'm a college student. I work. That's great. When I was 19, I had a lot of friends who did internships, who did hospital jobs, who were doing nursing. And I remember from my past that I did nursing for my first semester of college, and then I dropped it because I wasn't my thing. And then I did psychology for a semester, um for like semester, which is like 3 months. So I did nursing for the year and I did psychology for half a semester. And I realized at some point there was just like sometimes some like I don't know if it's just me, but like we all have those moments in our lives where we're like, well, I can't, continue this. Well, it's not that I can't continue it. I can continue it, but like sometimes like that dream becomes so much of a fantasy, like that fantasy dream becomes so like you're so I don't know how to say it. You're so like wanting to go towards that fantasy dream. Like, right, like when I was doing that, I wanted my fantasy dream, but I was just struggling a lot in my everyday life. So then I just dropped it and I just decided to pursue a natural, like, community college degree, which isn't so bad. It's equally the same thing, but I also kind of hate that, well, I don't hate myself, but like, I don't know how to say, like, deep down, I hate myself because I could have done my career. I could have gotten my career to where I wanted to with psychology. I could have, but I gave up. But I think it's the weird thing with the universe lately. It's been telling me it's like you're not giving up. You just have to have like a stop period, like a break. It's kind of practically like a break because believe it or not, you can have everything you want. You can do anything you want when you put your mind to it. But I feel like sometimes it does get a little overwhelming to have that fantasy dream to achieve because that is your biggest goal, your biggest dream, and you want to achieve it. And then you think eventually, like, you're like, okay, you know what? I really fucking can't do it. I've got to put my dream on hold. Which is kind of my struggles with like my late teens because I feel like my entire life I've been behind everyone else. So my late teens were kind of successful in their own ways, but then like the rest of my teens were like not as successful. When I was 18, 19, I had a lot of friends who were like getting not far ahead of their life, but getting into like better, not better things in life, but they were just getting to the point where I wanted to be, and I know I couldn't be there. So I feel like one of the things with my late teens ending is that I'm glad that it's over because then I don't have to have that childish mentality where I'm like, okay, I need to get here, I need to do this, I need that, I need to rush. Um, I need to hustle, I need to grind, which obviously that is a thing about your early 20s. Yeah, you need to hustle, you grind, you have fun. But I think what I hated about my like late teens is that like literally I hustled and grinded so much that I never gave myself a break and I just didn't realize that. And now I'm burnt out in my late like 19, like I'm 19 right now. So I turn 20 in a couple of months, which is not so bad. I'm grateful to be older, but it's also like the weird thing because as I get older, it's like I don't have and like where I'm in my life, where I'm at in my life is not where everyone else is, which is kind of the struggle with like the mindset of like entering your like early like ending your like teen years and entering your 20s, your early 20s, which is kind of crazy because obviously you're not going to be at the same place as everyone else, and I wish I could be at the same place as everyone else because believe it or not, I would kill for that. And I think it's crazy because I have mentioned this podcast where I've struggled with a lot of things in my life, and sometimes I need to get like my physical, my mental health, like my mental approach in life to a good point where I can be like, yes, let's go at life. Let's take it for a fucking spin, baby, you know? And I think what I hate, which one I hate, which is a nerve-wracking thing for when I turn older, when I turn 19, 20, when I turn 20, is the whole thing with having to be successful and also accepting disappointment at the same time. Because I feel like with my late teens, I was like a self-destructive era because it's like I could not accept disappointment sometimes. Like, believe it or not, everyone slightly gets disappointed, you know. Yeah, everyone gets disappointed sometimes, but it's like one of those things. But now that I'm in and almost entering my early 20s soon enough, I think I'm just like trying to learn that I have to accept the fact that sometimes stuff doesn't go the way I planned, like the way you planned that, and it's kind of like it's weird and scary and like overwhelming all at the same time. Believe it or not, I think especially growing up in a Brown family, because like I think in my ending my late teens was like me going to school, me still continuing school. I've been in school for about 2 years now, about 2 years, which I am so grateful for. But I think also with entering my early 20s is one of those like struggles as a brown kid because it's like I have that reputation now that I'm older that I can't fuck up. Like I can't fuck up, which I'm not saying that anyone in their late 20s doesn't fuck up, but everyone has their fuck up moments in life, believe it or not. And I think it's crazy to think that I'm I have that idea because I'm afraid to disappoint everyone. I mean, I'm not really afraid, but it's like one of those weird things. And I think the weird thing about my late 20s is as I get older, it's I feel like I hope it's not just me, but like within Brown families, like everyone doesn't have a support system. Like I'm very lucky to have a solid support system, but not everyone else is lucky like me to have a solid support system because everyone needs a solid support system to just move on, but like not move on, but like go on every stage of their life. I never had that as much as growing up because everything was always on me and it's kind of still on me, but I feel like entering my 20s, I feel like it's kind of scary because as you get older, I feel like you only have like a two, three people that you have to like that you can like count on if you need that help. But like at the same time, like what about when you get older? Like what about when you fucking get older? Like when you're like probably in your late like around 20, 22. How do you support yourself? Like that's what my main struggle is. Like definitely with growing up, which which is kind of like I'm not upset about, but it's like one of those weird things where I'm like, well, fuck, how am I supposed to do that shit, man? It's not like I don't want to, but I do. But it's like scary thinking about it at the same time. I'm like, well, how the fuck am I gonna support myself at the same time and make my life? Because, I was always told it's your life, your mistakes, whatever. Because growing up, I don't want to grow up in my like my 20s and have that like reputation, like, hey, reputation's everything. No, I don't want that for myself in the future. And I think like heading into my 20s is like thinking about my future, like, do I want to continue pursuing my degree and everything? I mean, hopefully everyone has the same struggle, but I think I just struggle with that so much because it's like, I know a lot of people are very successful for my age and like who are doing way up and beyond, and that's amazing. Like, I'm so proud of whoever, if you guys are, if anyone else is, I'm so proud of it, but it's like the one thing I struggle with. And I mean, I never really thought of it at that moment because I never did, because practically I don't even have a degree, and I didn't even waste 2 years, but it feels like I kind of wasted 2 years because like shit happened, and I have to restart my whole degree plan, and it's not like I'm mad about that, but at the same time I'm mad at myself for anything else because I blame myself entirely for whatever is happening in my life. No one else is to blame but me, and I've never really had to do that in my life because it's like what's it called? Like it's weird. I've never had to actually experience that, and it's not like I hate it. It's not like I like it. It's not like I had to, but it's just that feeling like you failed. Also, that is a prominent, believe it or not, that is a prominent part of everyone's adult life. And I think, obviously, getting older, I'm trying to accept that, but it's really hard to accept some things that I am not in control of everything. Like, I'm not in control of what life just has to throw. I mean, sometimes I wish I was. I think that's one of the most struggles of being a teenager because not everything's handed to you, but you have that chance to do one of things on your own and handle things on your own. But as you get older, what I hate is that when you're older, some parents make you feel like you're on your own. And you're not really on your own. So I feel like that's one of the main struggles of being like older is that you have responsibility, which responsibility is great. Getting that responsibility, having to do that responsibility, that is absolutely great. The freedom, that's like, well, it's not Will Brown family. It's not crazy freedom, but it's like limited but fleeting. But like at least you have some sort of level of freedom. Also like maybe if it's hopefully it's not just my family that does it, but I think what's the worst thing about like when you get older is that the responsibilities don't get more, but it's like like you, the way you're like have an effect on the family, which is fine. Like I know I struggle with a lot of things, even though I'm like practically I'm almost 20 soon, and I kind of still struggle with mental health and stuff. And I think that's what's worse as you get older, because I think like obviously about my teen years, I have self-destructive habits, and now like obviously growing up, like I'm hoping that I don't continue those self-destructive habits because believe it or not, no one likes having those self-destructive habits at all. Not at all. But I feel like going into your 20s is like deciding who you really are. Not who you really are, but like who you're meant to be. Because I feel like it's kind of like a loner period. I can't explain it. Not hopefully it's not just me, but like I feel like specific for brown girls, it's like a loner period where it's like you try to learn independency and sort of learn how to figure shit out on your own, which is really tough. That shit's really hard because I feel like even I'm 19, I still don't have my shit together. But I feel like the scaries are as you get older is that you made like I think for me is that like I have a lot of cousins or family friends who are like 20, 22. Like I'd say a couple years older, and I think, hearing those like those things like, oh, they have a degree from, Stony Brook, or they're like doing nursing or anything. And it's like, I think as you're getting older, it's like having to understand that, hey, I'm not like everyone else, and I can't be like everyone else. Like, I can't be them. I can't be them. I'm me. I'm not them. I'm me. And I think that's the hard part because it's like, I, it's like another identity when you get older, I feel like. And obviously, I've been struggling with that since I was a kid, and I feel like I've always struggled with it. But I feel like sometimes as you get older, it just gets a little bit worse because you're like, well, now I really need to know what the fuck I'm doing in my life because I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like it's like a whole process of understanding into your 20s and being like, hey, I'm not gonna be this exact person. I'm not gonna be like my mother. I'm not gonna be like father. It's like one of those experiences that I wouldn't say no one deserves. Well, not deserving, but like no one should ever experience like me, but I feel like it's really hard just to handle shit sometimes when you get older, specifically in brown families. I mean, I'm hoping no one else has to deal with all this shit, but it kind of sucks. It totally sucks. Like when I get told about like everyone else's 20s and like all of that, and it's like I'm still understanding the concept that, hey, I'm fucking turning 20 in like two in like it's March. It's like I turned 20 in like 4 months. How am I getting my shit together and getting back up? Because I feel like it's like the end of my teen years is like a death. It's like it feels like death. It's not death, but it feels like death. It's like that version of you is dead now, and I have to like be older, act older, be older, impress people. And it's like I have the mentality where I want to do that, I do, but I don't know how to exactly face it and take care of myself at the same time. Because if you think about it, with your teen years, you're so like, if it's just me, I think I specifically, maybe me, but like I've spent all my teen years taking care of everyone else. And you know, taking care of me, I never been good about it. And then I was good at it for a bit, and then I wasn't. So it's like always thinking about like all these different aspects of your life moving forward. Like, how am I supposed to continue this? How am I supposed to do that? Like, how? So you know, I feel like it's just a struggle. Like right now, I feel older than I actually am because I feel like age is just a number, is what I should probably say. Age is just a number. Like this, like when I mean age is just a number, age is just a number. Like not in dating terms, okay. So I feel like in the terms of being a person. I feel like age is just a number, you know? Age is just a number. So basically what I may be 19, but I may act like older because I have that experience. Like I may act like a 30-year-old that falls asleep at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Like I feel like I've lost my teen years, which I'm not upset that I lost my teen years because eventually everyone loses their teen years. It's just that I feel like I had to grow up way too fast, and I feel like I feel like fucking 21. I feel like 21 through like everything that's happened so far. And I'm not actually 21. I'm 19. I'm 19. So I feel like it's like a ode. Like this episode this episode is an ode to my teen years because I miss my teen years so much, or I missed the chance where I could just be happy. I didn't have to worry about other shit. And now I have to worry about shit, which because I have no choice, unfortunately. But I think it's an ode to my teen years because I miss my teen years way too fucking much. I do. And it's not, no one's to blame in this case, but just I don't know, it must my teen years, and I feel like once you feel like your teen years end, you have to have a like early 20s, you have to have that mindset where you're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing a career, like it's just you have to have that mindset that you know what you're doing in your life, and I can think that I've been struggling with that for so long in my entire life, like absolutely, and now I just I guess I'm trying to get into that. Yeah, so I don't want to go on a tangent. I think I've Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. This episode, not today's episode, the recent episode. And I should be back on my game, so don't know how much I'm gonna be posting, but probably maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks or once a week. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys have any ideas on other topics you guys may talk about or any of that, or if you have any comments, just comment down below, like it, and share it as much as you guys can because this podcast, I hopefully will help you guys as much as it's helping me. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you guys next time.